children, welcome to the online classes DEO Nalgonda. I am Anis Fatima, TGT Science from TSMS Gurampur. Children, we'll start this session with an interesting question. Do you know children, daily we do different activities, isn't it? You will be playing, moving, running, eating, sleeping and carrying out different activities. So what do we require to carry out all these activities? Yes, we require energy. So from where do we get this energy? The energy we will be getting from the food we eat. So now the question is, from where do we get this food? Food we will be getting from plants and as well as animals. So today our topic is production and management of food from plants. So in this topic we will be discussing how food is produced from plants and how it is managed and how it is useful, so that we will be discussing today. Okay children, are you ready? Now, you know that different types of plants are there, isn't it? So growing same type of plant in a large area, growing same type of plants in a large area is called as crop. So it is called as crop, and the process of growing these crops is called as agriculture. And you know that India is a vast country with more percentage of villages, and many people in our country depend upon this agriculture only. So agriculture, it is the backbone of our country. Is it clear children? Now, immediately when you sow the seeds, immediately do you get a plant and you will be getting a flower and you will be getting the crop? No, it is not possible like that. It takes some time. So depending upon the duration of the crop, how much time the crop will be taking for harvesting, the crops are being divided into two types. So they are long-term crops and short-term crops. So those crops which require 180 days for maturation, for harvesting purpose, they are called as long-term crops. Whereas those crops which require 100 days for maturation, they are called as short-term crops. So example for the short-term crops are green gram, black gram, etc. Whereas example for the long-term crops are jowar, red gram, etc. So now here, depending upon the duration, they have been classified into two types. They are long-term crops and as well as short-term crops. Is it okay? Now, depending upon the season, so in which season do we sow the crops and we will be getting the plants? The crops have been divided into different types. Let us see now. The crops which are grown during rainy season, that is, they are sown in the month of June and harvested in the month of October. Those crops are called as Kharif crops. And the crops which are grown during winter season, that is, they are grown in the month of sown in the month of November and they are harvested either in the month of February or March. They are called as Rabi crops. Apart from these rainy crops and winter crops, we are having another type of crops also. They are called as summer crops. That is, they are grown when the availability of water is less. So those crops which are grown during the summer season, they are called as zaid crops. And here, example, we will be getting under zaid crops cucumbers, or watermelon and bottle gourds, etc. So these are the different types of crops depending upon the season. The crops grown during rainy season are called as Kharif crops, during winter season are called as Rabi crops, and during summer season are called as zaid crops. Okay children, now why especially some crops are grown during a particular season itself? For example, you take wheat. Wheat is grown only during Rabi season, whereas rice is there. Rice it is grown both in Kharif season and as well as Rabi season. So like that, some crops are grown specifically in one season itself. What might be the reason? What will happen if wheat is grown during the Kharif season? So here a plant to grow or to mature or to produce the seeds, it requires some specific functions. So what are those means? How much duration of night is there? Length of duration, their flowering period is required. So here you know that when a plant is sown, it has to grow and it has to develop some 5 to 6 plant leaves, then only after growing to a certain height it starts flowering. So it may take nearly 7 to 8 weeks to get that stage. So that also depends upon which season we should have to grow. So that is flowering stage and as well as duration of the night is most essential for depending upon which only we can decide which type of crop is grown during which season. Is it clear? So this is regarding about what we say here, different types of crops. Now let us discuss regarding about paddy. So paddy is nothing but the rice, isn't it? So now here the scientific name of this is Oryza sativa. And this paddy, it is the staple food for us. Mostly here in South India, we have this paddy as the staple food, and this paddy is called as global grain. It is called as global grain. So this paddy is grown in different places. For example, in almost all over the world it is grown. Coming to India also, here it is grown from Arunachal Pradesh, from east to west, and from north to south, that is from Jammu and Kashmir to Kerala. So here it is grown everywhere. So and India is the leading country where most of the area comes under this agricultural area only. Most of the agriculture under India will be growing this paddy only. Not only India, the second place comes to China and Japan. But the area, most of the area is covered will be seen in India only. Though the most of the area is covered, India is not having, not producing more amount of what we say yield is not produced. Yield is produced more, per hectare area, more amount of yield is produced in China and Japan, whereas India is not in the first position. Area wise it is in the first position, but not in the production wise. What might be the reason? The reason is that here they will be using different types of techniques, advanced techniques are being used by these people, so they are in the leading positions. So now in this chapter we will be discussing how this paddy field is grown from the starting to the ending harvesting stage. We will discuss all those things. So now immediate, you know that whenever you sow the seeds, immediately you will be getting the plants and flowering will be there, then afterwards yielding will be there, but it takes some time. So meanwhile this time it requires some practices. So those practices are called as agricultural practices. So different agricultural practices has to be followed to get a better yield. The final thing what we require, what the farmer thinks is that he should get more yield so that he will be benefited, isn't it? So what are the agricultural practices has to be followed so that they can get a better yield. So now we will be discussing this. So the first one in this agricultural practices is that preparation of soil. Preparation of soil. And coming to this paddy here, this paddy, what will happen is that here complete land whatever is there, it will not be irrigated or it will not be produced at a time. So here what they will be doing is for the culturing or growing of this paddy, the area whatever they have taken, they divide them into compartments. So they are called as madulu, or they are also called as kayalu. Okay, so why they are dividing into small areas? So that the level of whatever the practices has to be done, the cleaning of this area or irrigating, pouring water for this, all this can be done easily. So that is the reason why they are dividing it into compartments. Okay, now, so and whereas in our country here, they will be carrying out various festivals during when they are during various activities, they will be carrying out different festivals. For example, when sowing seeds, Akshaya Tritiya, a festival is celebrated. And before sowing the seeds, whereas cleaning the land or leveling the land, one of the festival is celebrated. It is called as Eruvaka. And after getting the harvest, finally after getting the yield, they will be celebrating it, that is Pongal or Onam. You know all these things, I think. So at different stages, they will be celebrating different festivals. Okay, now the first stage I said that preparation of soil. So in preparation of soil, the first one again in this is ploughing, and the second one is leveling. What is meant by ploughing? Ploughing means nothing but making the soil or turning the soil upside down is called as ploughing. You know, the land which is present, it should have to be ploughed. Why it has to be ploughed? So that the soil should become loose. Why the soil has to become loose? So that the roots can go easily, deeply inside. That is the first reason. Second reason is the water can go inside properly, and the next one is air will also be going inside, and whatever the useful microorganisms are there, they are also will be moving in the soil. Apart from all these things, whatever the harmful organisms are there, they will be exposed outside and they will be killed in the hot summer. So those are the advantages of ploughing. So this ploughing has to be done prior to all other activities, so that the land should be get ready. How it is done? It is done with the help of instrument. The name of that instrument is plough. And there are two types of ploughs are there. Wooden plough and iron plough. So here plough is, it is in the form of a T-shaped. It is in the form of T-shaped plough is there here. Normally it will be like this. A T-shaped plough will be there. For this completely it is made up of wood, and here a blade will be there which is made up of iron. And this is normally how a wooden plough is present. And not only this one, afterwards completely it is made up of iron, that is called as an iron plough or improvised plough it is called as. And what is the use of that? Means it will make V-shaped ridges. It will make V-shaped ridges. So that is the use of plough. Ploughing means nothing but turning the soil up and down. And this ploughing is otherwise also called as tilling. It is also called as tilling. So this is about ploughing. Now after the ploughing has completed, now what has to be done? Sowing of seeds. So before going to sowing of seeds, the land should be leveled. It should not have ups and downs. To make it level, another activity or another practice is done, that is called as leveling. How it is done? With the help of an instrument called as leveler. Leveler, it is helpful for leveling the land, so that the water whatever we pour to the areas or agriculture field, it will be equally distributed, and we can easily sow the seeds. So that is the second one, that is leveling. So ploughing is done, leveling is done, both of them they come under preparation of soil itself. Soil is prepared, now soil is ready. What has to be done? The next one is sowing, the most important aspect, that is sowing. So what is sowing? Sowing means nothing but putting the seeds. Putting the seeds in the soil is called as sowing. So now here, which type of seeds are sown? How they will be getting the seeds? From where do they get the seeds? We will discuss. So normally the farmers, after growing, after getting the harvest, they collect some seeds and they will be putting it for the useful for the next season. Whatever the heavy seeds are there, which are in good condition seeds are there, they will be storing them and they will be using it for the next season, they will be using them as seeds. But all of them they will be doing the same thing, they will be doing, but sometimes the government is also providing the seeds. The people will be collecting these seeds and they will be buying these seeds and they will be sowing it in the soil so that they will be getting the plants. Now, coming to these seeds, so you might have seen whatever the seeds they sow, all of them do they germinate? It is not possible. Sometimes it happens that the farmers will be buying so many seeds with lot amount of money. After buying this, they will be just putting it in the land. So sometimes the seeds will be okay, they will be germinated, you will be getting good yields. But sometimes what happens, the seeds may not be germinated at all. Sometimes what happens, though they germinate, the plants may be sterile. Sterile means they won't give the product, whatever the final product is that they won't give it. Then what is the use of this? The farmers, so many they will be collecting and they will be using so much amount to buy all these seeds. Due to this, they will be having a loss. So many farmers, what they have done, they have committed suicides so that they are unable to pay the debts whatever they have bought to buy these seeds. So to avoid all these things, government now what they are doing is they are providing certified seeds. They are providing certified seeds from National Seed Center Corporation and the State Seed Center Corporations are there. They will be providing the certified seeds. Over the pack only it will be written how much percentage of germination will be there and all those things. Farmers are buying that, and nowadays somewhat it has been reduced. The fertility, what we say here, the rate of productivity has been increased. Now, let us see how the sowing process is done. Sowing normally it is done by two methods, that is broadcasting and line sowing. What is meant by broadcasting? Broadcasting means nothing but what they will be doing. For example, they take all the seeds in a particular bowl or something else and they will be just throwing them like this. Randomly they will be dispersing the seeds like this. So this is called as broadcasting. So what is the benefit of this broadcasting? Broadcasting is done in a less duration of time, but the plants may be growing in only one particular place and sometimes the other areas will be empty. So it is not a correct method. The second method is line sowing. In this line sowing, what they will be doing is that the particular field it is there, they will be drawing them such particular lines and with the help they will be sowing the seeds. How this line sowing is done? It is done either manually or with the help of an instrument. With the help of an instrument. What is that instrument called as? Seed drill. So manually the labor will be just putting the seeds and they will be doing this line sowing. But it again consumes lot of time. So that is why seed drill, it is an instrument which has been developed which is helpful for sowing the seeds. So either this seed drill is connected to the bullock cart or for the bullocks, or nowadays to cover large areas they are being what we say here attached to the tractors itself. So how does this seed drill will be there? It is having a hooper like this, a funnel like a hooper will be there, and it will be having pipes, and these pipes will be having small openings here and here. In this hooper, this funnel, they will be putting the seeds which is either attached to the bullocks or tractor. Now that will be moving through these tubes and they will be just falling in the ground. So what happens is that two blades will be there here. One will be opening, one will be for what we say, it will be for opening the hole or something, and the seed will be fallen down, another side, another blade will be there which will be closing it. So that means it is carrying out both the activities. It is furrowing, it is pouring the seed, and it is closing, isn't it? So this seed drill, it helps in saving the time. It helps in saving the time. So this is regarding about seed drill. Now I want to show one experiment here. See children, whether the seeds are in good condition or not. So whether the quality seeds are good or not, that we will see now. So normally I said that all the seeds will not germinate. So how we will be know whether the seeds will be germinated or not? So you can conduct a small experiment here. For this, you just take a bowl of or a glass of water. In that you just pour seeds. So these are papaya seeds, children. So here you just pour them in the water. Yes children, now we are seeing how to separate good seeds, that is the seeds which germinated and the seeds which may not germinate. So for this what you have to do is you have to take a beaker which is having water and now put the seeds. Now I took here seeds of peas and as well as papaya seeds I have put it. You can see that here some of the seeds are floating on upside, whereas some of the seeds have been settled down. Why some seeds have settled down and why some seeds are floating? Here the reason is that these seeds don't have the seeds which are settled down, they don't have any openings, they don't have any what we say here, they are not wrinkled, and not only that one, they are having more weight. Whereas the seeds which are floating, they are of light weight or some holes may be present in them. That is the reason why they are floating. So by this we can say that the seeds which are floating, they are not good seeds. They cannot be germinated. Whereas the seeds which are settled down, they will be germinated up to 100%. So this is the thing how we can say that which seeds are good or which seeds will be germinating. And here you can see that farmers also what they will be doing is they will be getting sacks of seeds and they will be putting one night in the water. Why they will be putting one night throughout the night in the water? So that they will be germinated. Small sprouts like they will be germinated and they can be sowing in the soil. So that the reason is that here the germination will be up to the mark. That is why the reason they will be putting them in the water. So this is regarding about sowing. And one more important thing is that nowadays what the farmers are doing is here they are carrying a medication of seeds. Medication. What is meant by medication of seeds? That is nothing but they are putting some medicines to the seeds so that they may not be causing the viruses or bacteria or some fungus may not cause damage to these seeds. So that them for all why they are doing all these things means finally the thing that they should get the better result. Result in the sense they should get the better yield so that they will be getting a more amount of money. Is it clear? So this is regarding about the next agricultural process, that is sowing. So we have seen preparation of soil. In preparation of soil we have seen ploughing and as well as leveling. The next one is sowing. Now here we will be seeing about agricultural crop, that is rice. I said that here in rice plant rice crop what they will be doing, they will be taking particular small areas. So in rice crop completely they won't put the rice seeds at a time. So they will be making into compartments. In a particular compartment they will be growing some plants, that is called as nursery. In a particular area they will be growing this rice plants, that is called as nursery. After this what we say is the plantlets are grown or small plants are coming, what they will be doing is they will be forming into groups. Now they will transfer this plants to the complete main field. In the main field they will be transferring. So that process of transferring the plants from nursery to the main field, that process is called as transplantation. You call in Telugu as natlu, nari, naru, all those things, no? So that is transplantation process. That is here from the nursery field, the plants are transferred to the main field. They will be maintaining some gap and they will be growing those plants. That process is called as transplantation. And you might have seen in villages, what we say here, labor, mostly women, they will be coming for this. They will be taking this, what we say here, this transplantation process will be done. They will be singing songs and they will be doing. Have you seen? So that is the thing. Now, not only that one, here that is a time consuming process, it is a what we say here, money consuming process. So nowadays an instrument called as transplanter. What is the instrument? Transplanter. So this instrument has been useful for the process of transplantation. So what they will be doing is that just one man is enough for this process of transplantation, and it will be covering large area in a short duration of time. So this is about sowing. Now here the next agricultural practice we will see. The next agricultural practice is applying manures. What is meant by manure? You know that continuously we are growing plants season after season, isn't it so? When we continuously use it, the nutrients which are present in the soil will be lost. It will be used by the plants. So the soil now, it will be losing its fertility. So now how to, if when soil loses its fertility, automatically the yield will be reduced. So as to overcome this problem, what has to be done? Manures has to be added. So manure is nothing but it is an organic fertilizer. It is an organic fertilizer. So here you might have seen in villages, a big place will be there. In that whatever the wastage is there, either plant wastage or animal wastage or food wastage, everything they will be dumping in that particular pit. That is called as compost pit. And they will be, after this is filled, they will be just covering it with some hay or something, and after 1 or 2 days they will be just mixing it. Now a manure is formed, that is called as an organic manure. That is applied to the plants so that the soil will be used, taking the nutrients which are present in this. So this is called as manure. And another type of manure is also there, that is called as vermicompost. Vermicompost is nothing but, you know, farmers' friends, earthworms. Earthworms are called as farmers' friends. So that will be grown in the soil. Their wastage, their worm castings are mixed with the soil. That is called as vermicompost, which is also applied to the soil so that it can increase its fertility. So how much fertility is increased? How much fertility is increased? Only up to a little percentage is increased, not a large amount is increased. So that is why what the people are doing, they are switching from manures to fertilizers. Fertilizers are nothing but the chemical substances. They are chemical substances. They are added to the soil so that their fertility can be increased. So you know the different fertilizers are urea, single super phosphate, muriate of potash. So all these are different types of fertilizers which are applied to the soil so that their fertility can be increased, which helps in the increasing the yield of the plant. But there are some disadvantages with these fertilizers. What is the main disadvantage is that excessive use of these fertilizers. When fertilizers are used excessively, they cause soil pollution and as well as water pollution. Apart from this, they will make the soil either acidic or alkaline, which is not fit for the next growing crops. So that is why we should have to avoid, the farmers have to avoid the use of fertilizers. They should have to switch on to the manures. So this is about that is called as applying manures and fertilizers. Now here, apart from this, now the next thing is, as human beings, we will be getting different types of diseases, isn't it so? Nowadays we are suffering from a pandemic, corona, isn't it so? Like that, different types of diseases we may be getting. Apart from human beings, animals also suffer from various types of diseases. And not only human beings and as well as animals, plants also suffer from various types of diseases. So now here let us see about the diseases in plants. Plants suffer from various diseases which are caused either by virus or bacteria or by fungus, etc. Different types of diseases such as ticca disease in groundnut, ergot in bajra, red rot in sugarcane, leaf blight in rice. So like this here, different types of diseases are there. How can we know? You can know, but the plants got the disease by seeing their leaves. The leaves may be having curls, or completely they will be getting spots, or sometimes what happens, the fruit will be emitting bad smell. And these virus, bacteria and fungus, either they may be attacking stem or roots or leaves or fruits. So now here, if these attack the plants, automatically the yield will be reduced, which is again a loss to the farmer. Then what has to be done? So we should have, the farmer has to kill this. How this will be killed? So a chemical is used to kill this virus, bacteria or fungus. They are called as pesticides. Pesticides are the chemical substances which are useful to kill the pests or insects. So examples of pesticides are DDT, dichloro diphenyl trichloroethane, that is DDT, BHC, benzene hexachloride. Next, what we can say, chlordane, endosulfan, all these are different types of pesticides. So these pesticides are sprayed with the help of sprayers, and they are useful for killing this. But using pesticides, is it good? No. For the farmer's sake it is good because they will be getting more yield, but for the people it is not good. Why? Because when these pesticide containing foods we eat, it causes various types of diseases for us. So to avoid this one, we should have to thoroughly clean and wash vegetables or fruits or whatever the plant products are there before consuming them. And those chemicals which kills the fungus, they are called as fungicides. So here this is about different types of plant diseases and how to control them. Now, so we have seen, first one we have seen as preparation of the soil, that is ploughing, leveling we have seen, sowing we have seen, manuring we have seen, now pesticides application we have seen. Now the next one is the next agricultural practice is applying water to the plants. You know that you might have seen that just you leave the plant for 3 or 4 days without pouring the water. What will happen? Immediately after 3 or 4 days the plant will become shrink, and finally if we continuously don't pour the water, the plant will die, isn't it? So water is very much essential for the plants so that they can grow. What is the use of water? What will happen? The water, it will uptake the nutrients which are dissolved present in the soil. The nutrients gets dissolved in the water, and that water will be supplying nutrients to the plants. So here, that is applying water to the plants, that process is called as irrigation. What it is called as irrigation. So there are different types of irrigation systems are there. What are they? Ancient methods of irrigation system and modern methods of irrigation system. In ancient methods of irrigation system, from where do get these plants will be getting the water? Either they will be getting from the lakes, ponds or wells, or from the rain, isn't it? So now here, how from the lakes or ponds or rivers, from how the water has to be supplied to the field. So different types of ancient methods such as moat, dhekli, rahat, chain pump. So these are the different types of ancient methods for the process of irrigation, but they consume more time and more amount of water wastage was also there. But manually only they can be done. But nowadays you know that we got pumps, we got diesel, we got petrol which will be useful for the functioning of these pumps, which is helpful for lifting the water and supplying it to the agricultural areas. So coming to the modern methods of irrigation, furrow irrigation, basin irrigation are more popular. Coming to this furrow irrigation, it is nothing but here the agricultural field will be there. In between the plants, the furrows will be there. In these furrows, the water is applied. So this type of irrigation is called as furrow irrigation. Whereas coming to the basin irrigation, it is nothing but complete area of land, it will be flooded with the water, and in this the plants will be present. This type of irrigation is called as basin irrigation. Mostly it is seen in the case of paddy. So these are the different types of irrigation systems, that is furrow irrigation, basin irrigation. Apart from this, nowadays as the usage of water is more and the availability of water is becoming less, so here in some areas water availability is not at all there. Where the water availability is less, where the scarcity of water is there they are carrying out different types of irrigations, that is called as sprinkler irrigation and drip irrigation. What is meant by sprinkler irrigation? What is drip? Sprinkler irrigation mostly it is used in sandy soils, and here in the sprinkler irrigation it is nothing but in a particular field we will be having vertical rods and horizontal rods will be there, and here one nozzle will be present. This nozzle will be having openings, and this nozzle will start rotating like this. So here the water will be coming out from this, and it will be covering the throughout the area, and it takes time so that it will be absorbed. So here water wastage will be less, that is sprinkler irrigation. Coming to the second one, that is drip irrigation. In the drip irrigation what happens is that completely the water will be moving in the pipes, and here wherever the plant is there, here a small hole will be there for that, and here the water will be falling drop by drop. This type of irrigation is called as drip irrigation. So sprinkler irrigation and drip irrigation, this is used in the places where the availability of water is less. So this is about irrigation. And now the next one is next agricultural practice, that is weeding. Another agricultural practice, that is weeding. What is meant by weeding? Before going to see that, let us first see what is meant by weed. Weed is nothing but an unwanted plant. A plant which is not needed, which is grown along with the crop plants, that is called as weed. Why we have to remove these weeds? These weeds, they have to be removed because they compete with the normal crop plants for food, sunlight, nutrients, etc. So that is why these weeds has to be removed, and the process of removal of weeds is called as weeding. How it is done? It is done by different methods. The different methods are, it is done either with the help of hand, that is with the help of some instruments such as sickle or plough, etc. That is called as manual weeding, or sometimes with the help of some chemicals, they will be killing these weeds. Those chemicals which kills the weeds, they are called as weedicides. They are called as weedicides, and here one of the important weedicide is 2,4-D, that is 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid. This is a weed which is used to kill dicot weeds. Already you have studied in your 6th standard or 7th standard, that is what is meant by a monocot and a dicot, isn't it so? So here 2,4-D. 2,4-dichlorophenoxyacetic acid is used to kill the dicot weeds, not the monocot weeds. So, weeds can be removed either manually or chemically. So, these are the different methods by which the instrument that is called as weed harrower. Weed harrower is also useful for killing the weeds. So, this is about weeding process. Now, there are different types of weeds are there. For example, Garica, or we can say Vanza, Varipilla. So, these are the weeds which are present in paddy plants. And Gunugu, Gaddi, Chamanti, they are the weeds in vegetable crops. So, this is about weeding. Now, here, so we have seen till now different agricultural practices. What are the different agricultural practices we have seen? The first one is preparation of soil, that is includes ploughing and leveling. Next we have seen sowing. Next we have seen applying manures, pesticides, irrigation, and we have seen weeding. So, all the things are completed. Now, finally you got the crop, farmers got the crop. After getting the crop, what they have to do? They have to cut the crop, isn't it so? So, that process of cutting the crop is called as harvesting. It is called as harvesting. Harvesting is the process of cutting the crop. So, either it is done manually or it is done with the help of some machines. And now, harvesting, it includes threshing and winnowing processes. It includes threshing and winnowing processes. What is meant by threshing? After cutting the crops, now this crops has to be separated. The grains and as well as the chaff has to be removed. So, that process is called as threshing. It is done with the help of thresher. And sometimes harvesting and threshing is done with the help of one machine is called as, that is one instrument only, that is called as combine. Combine, it is an instrument which is useful for harvesting and as well as threshing. Now, what is meant by winnowing? Winnowing means the grains has to be separated. The grains, they has to be separated from the dust or some small what we say here agricultural waste products and all those things. That separation is called as winnowing. This winnowing is done with the help of winnower, or it is also done with the help of big fans, or it is done with the help of chata. So, this is about winnowing process. And you might have seen that in some villages they will be just putting this harvesting completely on the roads. But it is very dangerous. It should not be done like that. It should be done in the agricultural field itself. Why? The reason is that if it be done on the roads, they may get some accidents, or they may lead to some problems. So, that is why this complete harvesting process should be done in the agricultural fields only. Now, the harvesting is done. After completion of harvesting, what the farmers do? They will be just putting this whatever the product is there, they will be putting it in the sunlight for 2 to 3 days. Why they will be putting it in the sunlight? So that whatever the moisture is there, that will be extracted outside. Because if moisture is present, they will be attracting the virus, bacteria and fungus which will spoil the grains. To avoid that one, drying has to be done. And whatever the product we get, do we use at a time? No, it has to be stored. So, storing, the next one is, that is storage. Storage. So, storage, it is done in small, what we say at home, how it will be done? Either in wooden bins or metallic bins. You might have seen your mother will be storing the rice and all those things. They will be just putting some chilies or neem leaves and they will be mixing so that the pests may not attack them, the fungus may not grow in them, all those things that they will be consuming for 1 year, isn't it? Now, but if more in large areas they has to be stored, then how they will be stored? They will be stored in some places, they are called as silos, granaries. Silos, granaries, godowns are the places where the storage is done. So, here the storage process will be done in these areas, and you know that FCIs will be there, Food Corporation of India. they will be helping in the storing this, and not only, and what we say here, they will be doing the necessary whatever the precautions has to be taken so as to protect them from various types of microorganisms, all they will be doing, and FCI will be storing these grains. Understood? Now, what we say here, cold storage. What is meant by cold storage? Those vegetables and fruits and milk, especially coming to the plant products, vegetables and fruits, they will be spoiled. They will be changing their color and they will be spoiled within 2 days, isn't it so? So, that type of products which will be spoiled within 1 or 2 days, they should be stored in cold storage units. So, this is how the storing process will be done. So, we have seen from the beginning how the land is being cultivated and how the product is coming and how it is storing. So, this is about the complete different agricultural practices which will be followed, so that not only to grow paddy crop but also different types of crops. If this all these are done, then finally they will be getting the product. So, that is why here farmers, they will be working hard, they will be, but and one more thing is that it is not compulsory that this will happen like this. So, uncertainty will be there in agricultural sector. So, that is why so many people are not showing interest, but this is the backbone of our country. So, here so many have nowadays youth are also what we say here, they are also carrying out these activities, they have to do it, and new agricultural practices has to be developed so that our yield has to be increased. So, this is about what we say here, production and management of food from plants. Hope you have understood, children. So, here by this we have completed this lesson. Thank you.